Hello everyone, good evening and welcome to my channel Aptitude Club. In this video, we are going to discuss the Slot 2 QA questions from CAT 2022. Now, in the playlist that I have done before, I have discussed the Slot 1 QA questions for CAT 2022, and I had mentioned it earlier also that every slot I'll take it up in three parts. So, Slot 1 total QA section I had discussed in three parts. I'll mention the link of the playlist in the description of the video. I'll also pin it in the I section so you can check it out. So accordingly, every slot and every year paper I'll discuss in three parts each, and so that it won't be too much for you to watch it at once. So you can break it into three parts and watch and cover the previous year questions, which are very important because solving previous year questions gives you a window of thought of how the exam is designed, what kind of questions you must solve, what should be your level of preparation from a chapter, and what should be my overall strategy in terms of selection of questions. So all these things become more clear, and your exam strategy becomes very fine tuned if you are solving the previous year questions. Now you can solve previous year questions at two points of time, maybe towards the end of your preparation or towards the initial part of your preparation as well. So if you are just starting your preparation and watching this video, some people might have this question that why should I solve it at this point? I have not covered a lot of concepts, so I might not be able to understand the solution of the questions. But the good thing is, even if you are not able to understand, think of it in this way that if there is a question you are not aware of how to solve it, but when you see the explanation, at least you got to know what you don't know, and you have that clarity now. Okay, this is something I need to study going forward. So that line of thought at least got created because you made an attempt to understand and solve previous year questions. क्या पढ़ना है and क्या नहीं पढ़ना है, कितना पढ़ना है कितना नहीं पढ़ना है, that clarity should also be there when we are starting our preparation. In that sense, these videos will definitely help you. And if you are new to my channel and you are watching this, do subscribe to the Aptitude Club channel, and every day you will find some content related to your CAT preparation, be it in terms of quants, LRDI, or let's say overall strategy, preparation plan, mathematics, and how to be good at each subject, how to ace the overall exam. So I'll try and keep posting videos which will help you in your CAT preparation journey. So do support by subscribing to the Aptitude Club channel. So let us begin today's session. 2022 QA slot 2, and we had total 22 questions in this slot. Okay, total number of questions were 22, and we will do it in three parts: part 1, part 2, and part 3. So this is the part 1. So part 1 I'll take up 7 questions, part 2 8 questions, and part 3 7 questions. Slot 1 also I had covered in this way, so do watch that. And this is slot 2. So let us begin and try and see what kind of questions are there. First question, geometry. In triangle ABC, altitudes AD and BE are drawn to their corresponding bases. So let us try and draw the triangle first. So this is triangle ABC. Altitudes to AD, this is an altitude. Altitude means line drawn from the opposite vertex perpendicular to the side. Similarly, BE, again an altitude. So AD and BE are drawn to the corresponding bases if BAC is 45 degrees. Now angles are given now. Angle BAC is 45 degrees. This total angle is 45 degrees, and angle ABC is alpha. This angle is alpha. So we have to find AD by BE. Now initially it might look like a difficult question, but it's a very easy question. Super easy question if I just apply principles of geometry here. Like trigonometry यहाँ पे use होगा. Now think about this. We are supposed to calculate AD and BE. Now if I take triangles, triangle let us say ABD and triangle BA and E, so I can see that AD and BE will be like your perpendiculars. So which trigonometric ratio will involve perpendicular? Sine theta or sine alpha. So if I take sine in both triangles, so first in triangle A, B and D, I can write sine of alpha. It is like AD by AB, perpendicular by hypotenuse. AD by AB. Or I can write AD is basically AB sine alpha. Let this be my result 1. Similarly, if I take the other triangle in triangle BA and E, in triangle BAE, again I can take sine of 45 degrees. Sine 45 degrees is perpendicular BE by base, again the base or perpendicular by hypotenuse, so is AB. Now sine 45 degrees is 1 by root 2, so this is basically BE by AB, or I get BE is like AB divided by root 2. So I individually got how much is AD and how much is BE. Now simple ratio lena hai, easy question to solve. So if you take the ratio, taking the ratio of 1 and 2, so I will get AD by BE. How much was AD? AD is AB sine alpha and BE is AB divided by root 2. So AB gets cancelled out and simple we got AD by BE is equal to root 2 sine alpha. Such an easy question. Only if you can think that you have to use sine. Why you think that you have to use sine theta, I explained. I hope everyone understood. Because that involves perpendicular. So perpendicular by hypotenuse can be my sine theta, or perpendicular by base I can go for tan theta also. But here there won't be any usage of base. Base, if I would have gone for AE or BD, we don't know the values, so why indulge in that? So that is why take sine theta, AB in both cases. So if you take ratio, it gets cancelled out. Very easy to solve. Now, although this question was from trigonometry, a lot of people try and like worry too much that I have to become a very good in trigonometry. It's a vast area. How do I cover it? Or let's say coordinate geometry is another such chapter. But people worry too much. No need to take stress of being an expert in any chapter. Okay, keep your preparation very simple. Understand the basics, at least basics. Now if I just know what sine theta or sine alpha is, what is cos alpha, what is tan alpha, just basic trigonometric ratios and their values, so I'm at a very good position to solve this. I don't have to be very become an expert to solve such questions in the exam. Just standard fundamental questions. So the exam is focusing on your clarity on the fundamental side. Okay, so focus on that part when you're preparing, especially those who are watching this video at this point and you're preparing for 23. Keep this in your mind. Okay, do not stress yourself too much if you're not able to solve a question in any chapter. Okay, if you're not able to solve, go and refer the solution, try and understand what the solution is, and then cross check why you couldn't think of it in that way. Was it a new concept or a new formula, or the same thing done in a different way? Why you were not able to solve? What can you do next to solve a similar question if it is asked in the future? So those kind of things you should introspect while you are preparing. Okay, so hope this is clear. Let us come to this one, time and work. Now time and work is one area like you should be very good at, because guaranteed you get questions from this area and it's an easy chapter to capitalize on. Now let's see, working alone, time taken by Anu, Tanu and Manu to complete a job are in the ratio 5 is to 8 is to 10. So I have three persons, Anu and then Tanu and then Manu. So their time ratio is 5 is to 8 is to 10. So if time ratio is this, then the work efficiency ratio will just be the reciprocal, 1 by 5 is to 1 by 8 is to 1 by 10. Why to take reciprocal? Because we know that work efficiency is inversely proportional to time. Work efficiency is inversely proportional to time. That means someone who is more efficient will take less time to do a work, and someone who is less efficient will take more time. So inversely proportional. So if time ratio is 5 is to 8 is to 10, work efficiency ratio will be 1 by 5 is to 1 by 8 is to 1 by 10. Now this is not a conventional way to write ratio. So to simplify it further, what I'll do is multiply their LCM throughout. So I'll multiply 40 throughout. So I get 40 into 1 by 5 is to 40 into 1 by 8 is to 40 into 1 by 10, or I get 8 is to 5 is to 4. This is the ratio of their work efficiency. Okay, just a very simple calculation. Time ratio was given. I calculated what will be their work efficiency ratio. Now let's get to the question. I'll make a very simple assumption. Let Anu does 8 parts per hour. Tanu does 5 parts per hour and Manu does 4 parts per hour. Why did I take per hour and not per day? Because if you read this, they accept a job which they can finish in 4 days if they all work together for 8 hours per day. So it's not about days now, it's about how many hours they are actually working. So take the unit measurement in hours. So these many parts per hour. And why did I take 8 is to 5 is to 4? The ratio is given. So that is why 8 parts, 5 parts and 4 parts. So if they work together, what will be my total work? This is the most important aspect in any time and work question. What is the total work? Now if all three are working together, so 8 plus 5, 13 plus 4, 17 parts they would be doing in 1 hour. Per day they will be working for 8 hours. So 17 into 8. And they would be working like this for how many days? 4 days. So 17 into 8 into 4. So this becomes 17 into 32. So 17 to the 34, 4 carry 3, 17 into 351, 354, 544 parts. This is your total work. Now we know what the total work is and how the individual work pans out. How much is done by what individual in how many hours. We know that exactly. Now the question will be simple to solve. अब क्वेश्चन में क्या बोल रहा है? Anu and Tanu work together for the first 6 days, working 6 hours 40 minutes per day. Now, if you look at this, 6 hours 40 minutes, 6 hours 40 minutes is basically 6 whole 2 by 3 hours, or I can write it as 20 by 3 hours. So, Anu plus Tanu, they basically can complete 13 parts per hour. So, what is the work done by them? So they will do 13 parts per hour, and per day they actually work for 20 by 3 hours, and they do it for how many days? Now they work for 6 days. So what portion of the work was completed? So this is 2. So I'll get 520 parts. So out of 544 parts, 520 parts completed. So remaining work is how much? So the remaining work is 24 parts. Simple plus minus question. And this has to be done by Manu. Manu working at 4 parts per hour. What will be the time taken? If Manu works at 4 parts per hour. So time taken by Manu is 24 by 4, 6 more hours to complete. And that is our answer. Because after Anu and Tanu are done, there is 24 parts left, which has to be done by Manu. Manu's efficiency is 4 parts per hour. So for 24 parts, 6 hours. So the answer to this is 6 hours. Theta question this was. So number of hours that Manu will take to complete the remaining job is 6. Very simple. Again, time and work. I am not saying this was a very easy direct question. Yeah, you might need 1.5 minutes to solve this, but concept wise, this is something we are expected to be good at, because a lot of questions should be practiced beforehand, like in the exam, so that you get comfortable, because this is one area we can really expect questions to come from. And 3-4 type का ही question है time and work का, so you can capitalize it on very easily. And जैसे you read the question, you know that okay, this has to be solved in this way, that question has to be solved in that way. So that clarity of thought, if it is there, you can solve this very easily. But I hope all of you understood the explanation of this. Going forward, let's take a look at this one. Regular polygons, again a geometry question. Now, before getting to the solution of this question, very simple solution, but we need to know a formula. Formula is for a regular polygon of n sides. So I can write sum of interior angles is basically n minus 2 into 180 degrees. This implies each interior angle. What will be the measure of each interior angle? It is n minus 2 into 180 degree. This is the total sum divided by the total number of angles. So n minus 2 into 180 degrees divided by n. That is the measure of each interior angle. And because each interior angle will be same, the word regular here, it indicates all sides are equal, and as a result all angles are also equal. Also not relevant to this question, but I can write sum of all exterior angles. Sum of all exterior angles is 360 degrees. Now sum of all exterior angles for any polygon is always fixed 360. Be it a triangle, quadrilateral, pentagon, hexagon, any order polygon, sum of exterior angles is always constant 360 degrees. What keeps on changing is the sum of interior angles. And if you know this formula, this question is a cakewalk. Let's take a look at this, how to solve this one. So there are two polygons A and B, and the number of sides are in the ratio 1:2. So I'll say, let us say in polygon A, the number of sides is x, and in polygon B, the number of sides will be now 2x. So as per the question, the ratio of interior angles in A and B is 3:4. So interior angle of A to interior angle of B is basically 3:4. Now what is interior angle of A? Now, side minus 2 into 180 degrees divided by the number of sides or number of angles, same thing. And in case of B, it is 2x minus 2 into 180 degrees divided by 2x, and this is given as 3:4. I just directly use the formula. N minus 2 into 180 degrees is the direct formula to be used, where n is the number of sides. So in place of n, if x is the number of sides, so x minus 2, and if 2x is the number of sides, then 2x minus 2. So x gets cancelled out, 180 degrees gets cancelled out, and here 2 will get cancelled out. So you get x minus 2 divided by x minus 1 is 3:4. If you solve it a little bit, 4x minus 8 is equal to 3x minus 3, which gives you x is equal to 5. If x is equal to 5, what is it that you have to calculate? Number of sides of B. Hence for polygon B, the number of sides is 2 into 5, 10. So this will be 10. That is the answer. Simple question, just very easy and formula based, provided you know that. Okay, if you know this formula and standard geometry ka simple formula. So when you are preparing for the exam, my sincere request, read all chapters sincerely. And at first phase, do not prioritize arithmetic important hai, geometry important nahi hai, numbers important kam hai, algebra padhna hai, modern maths I'll skip. Do not have these kind of apprehensions when you're starting your preparation. So in phase 1, you need to cover all chapters, read all chapters, okay, cover all basics. No need to be expert in any chapter. If you're not able to solve difficult questions, that's absolutely okay. What you have to focus on is, have I covered the basics? Have I solved at least 20 easy questions from each chapter? So that enables you to think in the exam. Okay, in the exam, if you see one easy question, at least you have the ability to solve. If it's a difficult question and you're not able to solve, that's absolutely okay. But if you have zero idea about the chapter, then there's no question of easy, moderate, or difficult. I absolutely don't know how to solve it, and that's a different. It's a very wrong approach of the exam. Okay, so read all chapters, phase 1, and right now, if you're starting your CAT journey, spend 2-3 months to understand the basics. Do not be in a hurry to give mocks and score and all. First, clear your head, read and learn the concepts, understand properly things. Okay, then the scoring part, strategy part, and everything will gradually happen. Let's take a look at this one. Very good question. Maxima, minima. Okay, this question is on maxima and minima. I'll also tell you the principle of what is used in this question, but let us first see common sense. We'll use common sense to solve this. A plus 2b is 6. Then the average of the maximum and minimum possible value of a and b. So what do I need to find? I need to find the value of a plus b in its maximum and in its minimum. And a and b are non-negative real numbers. Think about this. A plus b is equal to 6. First way of doing it is, first thing that comes to my mind, that is three things. So I'll take each of them as equal, 2 plus 2 plus 2. So in that case, how much will be a plus b? I'll get 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. Can I go below this? So I'll write it in this way now. 2 plus 2 plus 2 ho gaya. Then next what I'll do is, maybe I'll give everything to a, 6, and b 0, c 0. This implies a plus b becomes how much? 6. You can't go beyond this, because if you give everything to b, what if you do the other way around? If I give a 0 and b, I'll have to give 3. 3 plus 3 will be 6. So in that case, a plus b is equal to 3. So clearly this will be minimum. You can't go below this. 2b is equal to 6. If you give everything to b, b is 3. And if you not give everything to b, b will be more than that or less than that. But accordingly, a will increase. A6 is clearly my maximum. Just common sense. So maximum value is 6, minimum value is 3. So 6 plus 3 by 2, the average value is 4.5. You don't need any like maths or principles to solve this. Just by common sense we can approach and solve this one. But is there a principle? Okay, is there a principle to solve? So there are two principles basically which are part of maxima minima. So the principle is, if sum is equal to constant, then product is equal to maximum, and if product is equal to constant, then sum is equal to minimum. If the numbers are equal or approaching to be equal. Okay, the solution is like inspired from this rule. I would say, I'll not say it's a direct application of this rule. Sum of two numbers is constant, then the product is maximum when the numbers are equal or approaching to be equal. And if product of two numbers is constant, then sum is minimum. Sum constant, product maximum, product constant, sum is minimum when the numbers are equal or approaching to be equal. Okay, so to explain you this, we can take simple example. Suppose I'll write a plus b is equal to 6. So a1 b5, a2 b4, a3 b3, and you just multiply. 1 into 5 will be 5, 2 into 4 is 8, and 3 into 3 is 9. So you see, you get the maximum product when the numbers are equal. And accordingly, if I write a into b is equal to, let us say, 16. So 1 into 16, 2 into 8, and 4 into 4. If you add the numbers, you get 17, 10, and 8. So the sum is minimum. Product was constant, sum is minimum when the numbers are equal. So this is the principle, and very widely used. This principle itself is derived from another principle. Arithmetic mean is greater than equal to geometric mean is greater than equal to harmonic mean. So this should be a new thing for a lot of candidates who are preparing. So don't worry about that if you don't know this principle. Absolutely, it's okay. We anyway solved it using common sense. We didn't use any principle. But yeah, while preparing, you will go through this in algebra portion, maxima minima. Very interesting topic. Very good questions we see in this like chapter. Okay. So hope all of you got an idea on this question number 4. Let's come to this part. Beautiful question. My personal favorite, like in this slot 2. Beautiful question on allegation, if you can think of it. Basically, this person, his income, if you see, income is rupees 4,000 per month, and he wants to save rupees 550 per month. He wants to save, ऐसा नहीं है कि he is saving that much, and he wants to save rupees 550 per month. Now total in a year, if I break it down, out of 12 months, in the first 9 months, his expense is rupees 3500. This implies in the first 9 months, per month, on an average, he is saving 500. Now think logically. Overall, his savings has to be rupees 550 per month, but already 9 months done, and the average is running rate now is 500. So he's going behind what he has planned. Okay, पीछे चल रहा है. He has planned for 550. Actual savings as of now run rate is 500 per month. So of course now it is evident that in the last 3 months he has to increase his savings so that overall average will reach 550. कितना increase करेगा, कैसे increase करेगा, that's the secondary part. Primary part, the moment I conclude this 500 per month for the first 9 months, that means clearly in the next 3 months he has to increase his savings. Only then he can balance it out and reach an average of 550. Now what happens in the next 3 months? Let's look at it. In the next 3 months, he foresees that 10th month onward, 10th, 11th and 12th month, his monthly expense will also increase. So expense from 3500 will go up to 3700. So if he wants to reach 550, only one option for him, he has to increase his income. There's no other way, because if he doesn't increase his income, his savings for the next 3 months would be even lesser, and overall savings would be less than 500 per month. He wants to reach 550. So what should be done? Now beautifully we can apply allegation here. Let's see how. Now his overall savings should be 550. In the first 9 months he has saved 500. So the remaining 3 months, what should be his savings? Let us figure this out first. Typical allegation problem. So this is like 3:1. This gap is 50. So 1 corresponds to 50. That means this 3 will correspond to 150 in that case, because this will be 1 part and 3 part. So if 1 part is equal to 50, this means 3 part will correspond to 150. Hence 550 plus 150. His savings in the last 3 months should be 700. So in the last 3 months, if he wants to save 700, so what should be his income? Income in the last 3 months. What should be the income in the last 3 months? His expense is 3700 and he wants to make a savings of 700. So his income should be 4400. Only then he can balance it out and reach an overall average of 550 per month. So option B. Beautiful question. Okay, how beautifully allegation has been introduced, and in a very subtle way. We'll have to read the question, then analyze, and then bring the concept of allegation into this. You can even solve it normally, but that's the beauty of the chapter allegation. It can be used anywhere. Okay, percentage, time and work, profit loss, simple and compound interest, time, speed and distance. Everywhere allegation has got its application, depending on the context of the question, of course. But if you have like understood allegation, you can relate to what I'm saying. If you haven't, at least now you have it in mind that okay, allegation is an important chapter that I have to study. Okay, don't take stress if you're not able to understand a particular concept. ये क्या हो रहा है, कैसे interchange हो रहा है and all. Once you understand allegation, you will be very clear in this absolute easy question. Okay, let us come to this one. A little lengthy one. This question is removal replacement. थोड़ा lengthy सा question है, but let's try and solve it. Just we'll go one sentence at a time and we'll get the answer. So there are two containers, container 1 and container 2. So we'll go stepwise. This is container 1 and it is half full. Okay, both the containers are half filled. This is container 2. I'll take let the capacity of each container to be 200x, or you can cross question me here, why 200, why not 100, or why not anything else. You can take X also. Now let me see what are the ratios. First, it is half filled, so there is already a 1 by 2. Then half content of the first container is transferred to the second container, so again we have one more 1 by 2. The next half content of second, and then half, so again a 1 by 2, and half content of the first container is transferred back to the second container, so again a 1 by 2. So rather than taking 200x and all, let me take it in this way. I'm seeing that okay, 1 by 2, 1 by 2, 1 by 2 is coming a lot of times. Okay, so at least 1, 2, 3, 4 times it is coming. So maybe I should take it as 400x. 400x. 100 I have taken just in case going forward I would need a percentage application, so I have kept 100 for safety, and 4 because so that I can easily do this 1 by 2, 1 by 2 thing. Okay. Rest you can take any value and assume and solve. No worries, no worries. Okay, you will get the same answer, just convenience. You will see here going forward we'll almost avoid ratios entirely, and our answers will be in integers. Let's see how. So step 1. So if the container capacity is 400x, the first container is filled with sugar, and this is like 200x now, half filled, and the second is filled with milk, and this is also 200x. Now in step 1, what we are doing is half the content of the first is transferred to the second container. From the first container, you are transferring half to the second container. So what is the result? Now first container 1 has now 100x of sugar, क्योंकि half to वहाँ पे दे दिया, and container 2 has 200x milk and 100x sugar, so total 300x. This is step 1. What do you do in step 2? In step 2, half of the mixture that you got in container 2 is transferred back to the first container. So from container 2, you are transferring half to container 1. Okay. So container 1 will have how much? So in container 2, whatever is there, you will make its half. So container 2, let us write it first. Exactly half हो जाएगा, so I'll have 100x milk and I'll have 50x sugar, and the rest half will be transferred here. 100x sugar and 50x will come here, so I will have 150x sugar and 100x milk. This is what is the result at the end of step 2. Next, half the content from the first container is transferred back to the second. That's yet another step. So in step 3, again from 1, I am transferring half to container 2. So how much will be container 1? This will be easy to write. Container 1 had 150x sugar, so it will have now 75x sugar, and 100x milk tha, so it will be 50x milk. And what will be the result in container 2? Container 2 had 50x sugar. From this 150x will come, so 50 plus 150. 75. 50 plus 75, I'll have 125x of sugar, and 100x milk and 50x, 150x milk. So this is the final result. Do you understand? We just we didn't use any formula. What we did is just we took one sentence at a time, and जैसे question बोलता रहा, हम वैसे करते गए, and you see nowhere I got a decimal number because I had assumed in that manner. The question is saying find the ratio of sugar syrup to milk in the second container. So what will be my final answer? In container 2, what is the sugar to milk? So 125 to 150. So 25, 5, 5:6. The answer. So option A. Little lengthy, I would agree. But if you just assume this to be 400x, you will deal with integers and you don't have to worry about division by 2 and all these things. If you not take this, you'll still get the same answer. But the problem is you will come across numbers like 12.5, 37.5, 31.25. Such numbers will start coming. That can be a little lengthy to calculate. That's all. Logic wise, it is absolutely correct. So this is an experience, problem solving experience. Like after having solved a lot of questions, the moment you read, you get an idea. Okay, maybe instead of x or 100x, maybe I should go for assuming 400x. Because if it is something that we can assume, so why not assume something which makes your calculations easier? Why assume x? Anyways, answer will be same. So if I can assume x, why not 400x? So at least my calculations will be easier. I'll avoid ratios. Okay. So hope this question is clear. Let us come to this one. Sequence series, again a very good question. Okay, this is a very good question. Arithmetic progression. It is saying on day 1 there are 100 particles in a laboratory experiment. So day 1 you have 100 particles. Now there's a principle in which the addition is taking place. Principle is on day n, out of every n particles produces 1 out of every n particles. 1 out of every n particles produces another particle. This is the principle. And this is the most important line of the sentence. If I can understand this, question is solved. That means basically the question is saying if I'm coming day 1, say if I'm coming to day 2. So just for your understanding, I'm writing here 1 out of every 2. So I had 100. So 1 out of every 2 means 50 out of every 100. Okay, that means half. 1 out of every 2 means half. So I had 100 particles. उनमें से half will produce 1 particle each. So 50 extra particles I'll get. So it becomes 150. Now if I come to day 3, 1 of every 3, so it is 1/3. So you have 150 particles. So 1/3 of them will produce another particle. So 50 of them will produce another 50 particles. So it becomes 200. If you come to day 4, it is 1 of every 4. So 1 by 4. So I had 200 particles, and 1/4 of them, 50 of them will produce again 50 particles. So it becomes 250. So this is my clear pattern that I got here. So I'll have to figure out the day. So if the total number of particles increases to 1000 on day m, so basically in how many days you will reach 1000 if you're going by this pattern? That is what the question is. So let's put it in a pattern. So we had 100, and I'll have to reach till 1000. And in between, I can see the sequence is gradually increasing in an arithmetic progression. So arithmetic progression का formula आ जाएगा. There's a common difference. This is the first term a1. This is the nth term an, and common difference d is 50. I'll have to figure out the number of terms. So I know an is a plus n minus 1d, or a1 plus n minus 1d. So 1000 is 100 plus n minus 1 into 50, or n minus 1 is equal to 900 by 50, which is 18, or n I get as 19. That means I would need total 19 days for the population to reach 1000. So A is 19. Very good questions these are. Okay, I'll not say difficult or easy. I'll say good questions. Okay, really they are testing how you can apply what you have studied. That's the whole purpose of the exam. Okay, to be able to apply what you know, and that's a very important skill going forward. Okay, don't look at it as maths or something. Just keep it in a simple way that I have learned something, can I apply? Be it maths, be it history, be it geography, be it archaeology, anything. If you have learned something, are you able to put it into use? That's your aptitude. Okay, it's just not just necessarily maths. So I hope all of you understood these 7 questions. So this was part 1, guys, for CAT 2022 slot 2 QA solutions. If you have watched it this far, I hope all of you enjoyed and understood these solutions. Do subscribe to my channel Aptitude Club, and we'll meet again soon in part 2 of CAT 2022 QA slot 2 questions. Till then, please watch the previous videos. I'll repeat again. Every slot I'll take it up in 3 parts. So slot 1 I have already done 3 parts. Do watch them. And slot 2, this is the first part. 2 more parts to go. Accordingly, all previous year questions I'll be covering, and in every video you'll have around 7 to 10 questions. So it won't be too much for you to practice at once. So one video a day also can help you prepare in a systematic manner. So thank you all for watching. We'll meet again. Till then, keep solving, keep studying. Thank you. Bye bye.